What is up, you guys? Hope you're having an awesome day. I'm your host Ayman Hassan and welcome back to another video. Now, I've still never seen a Bratz doll on a list like this and I feel like that says it all. You know, we stan the Bratz collection. But today we are back with more toys that could potentially leave you harmed, could leave you in a bit of a predicament, let's just say. Let's just jump into it. These are the top 10 cursed toys that will leave you injured, part 2. Starting us off at number 10 is the German doll. Now this one comes from Paranormal Alien 85 on Reddit, who said she bought a doll for her daughter, not knowing it was made in Germany in the mid-40s. And you know what else was taking place in Germany in the mid-40s? World War II, buddy. When the doll finally arrived, she looked harmless enough, but that same night the mum had an extremely detailed dream. She and her partner saw their daughter and sister stuck inside a Nazi concentration camp, and despite seeing them, they couldn't do anything to save them. The daughter also happened to be holding the doll in her hand. Her boyfriend somehow tripped on something while running away from the camp, and his eye popped out of his socket, and like the user remembered it dangling from the socket in vivid detail. That's something I don't need to see or even imagine in any kind of detail. However, when they woke up the next morning, the user's partner woke up with a bloody eye. How? No one knows, but I'm guessing it's the doll. Coming in at number 9 is Peggy. Paranormal investigator Jane Harris was sent Peggy the doll after her previous owners had had enough of her. Peggy had been causing them to have violent nightmares, which didn't stop even after a priest came to bless their house. You know it's bad when not even the Holy Spirits can help you. That's when you know it's over. It's game over. Stop trying. Now, according to Jane, 80% of people that even look at Peggy experience reactions ranging from an intense migraine to full-blown mania. Psychic mediums who have investigated Peggy say there's a spirit inside of her that's restless and was persecuted all her life. It's so bad that people don't even want to look at pictures of her in case they experience paranoia, mania, or all of the above. At number 8 we have The Two. Alabama-based paranormal enthusiast Ashley Nicole Fine has a collection of 100 haunted dolls, and 2 of which hate her boyfriend Philip. Ashley says the 2 dolls that hate Philip are possessed by 2 women that were murdered by their own boyfriends, so even the sight of Philip just pisses them off. And that I can understand. Honestly, if their boyfriends kill them, they're not gonna like anyone else's. Now, one of the dolls is possessed by a woman called Mirabella and the other one by one called Setha. Ashley shared that Mirabella told her she had been strangled by a jealous lover and then dumped into a lake. The dolls have attacked Philip during the night since he woke up with scratches all over his body, and the dolls were not where Ashley had last kept them. And just to add to it, they weren't deep bloody scratches by any means, but they were so worrying enough to cause concern, like where the hell did they come from? But Ashley has been collecting these dolls since she was 12 years old and said she would always choose the dolls over any boyfriend that she ever had, and that, my friend, is commitment. Filling at number 7 slot is Ruby. Honestly, this doll looks like it's been through a lot and seen some probably too much. Now, based on what her previous owners said, Ruby's been passed down from generation to generation, but no one liked having the family heirloom. He'd go to sleep with her in one place and wake up to find her in a completely different room. No one moved her, she just got there somehow. And every time someone picked her up, they'd start feeling this immediate wave of nausea and sadness. Apparently, a family relative passed away holding Ruby in their arms, and that perhaps the spirit of that relative stayed within Ruby. She's now displayed at the Traveling Museum of the Paranormal and the Occult in case you do want to see her, but I mean, I suggest you don't, since you'll probably come away from that experience feeling quite depressed. Now at number 6 is Elmo. I feel like Elmo toys are so popular, obviously because of how popular Sesame Street is, but I don't think I've ever walked into a Toys R Us without seeing some sort of Elmo toy. Never had one myself though, not part of the bandwagon. Either way, the Bowman family decided to buy a talking Elmo doll back in 2008 for their 2-year-old son James. The doll was programmed to say the child's name and 2 other phrases and nothing else. But after the family changed its batteries, the doll started ad-libbing other words like "kill James," which I don't even know how the doll would be able to say unless it was A, programmed into him, or B, he was possessed. And imagine hearing that in Elmo's sing-songy voice like, "Nah, B, no." And I know technically it didn't leave James injured, but I'm sure it mentally scarred him and his parents, so that's a sort of injury. Coming in at number 5 is Letta. Looks-wise, he honestly does look really bloody creepy. He's wearing a silky dark green suit and is about the size of a child. He's meant to be 200 years old and is made from real human hair and carved wood. And I feel like if he's made from real hair, then obviously the person whose hair it was is still attached to the doll somehow. That's just how haunting and attachment works. I should know, I've done enough top 10 videos on hauntings. Either way, Kerry Walton has owned Letta since the 70s after he found him in an abandoned house in Australia. When he brought him home, everything kind of went tits up and no one's really surprised by that, are they? Why take a doll from an abandoned house when you don't want shit to go down? You asked for that, Kerry. Now things would start moving without any force, there were scratch marks all over the floor, Kerry's children would have nightmares constantly. One night his daughter woke up screaming, saying Letta had moved on his own, and he was right by her bed. He then grabbed her finger with a strength she never imagined and would not let go. And I mean, the bruises on her finger did not lie. It did happen. Letta, you naughty bitch. At number 4 is Robert the doll. Now Robert was actually the inspiration for Chucky, aka the most famous evil doll to hit theaters ever. Made by the German toy company Steiff, the life-size doll was gifted to artist Robert Eugene Otto as a birthday present back in 1905. Looks-wise, Robert looks spent as hell. He's made of stuffed fabric and is covered in little holes and is dressed in a sailor outfit that was presumably Eugene's as a kid. In another version of the story, the doll was given to the family by a maid practicing voodoo as revenge for something that they had done. Legend has it that Eugene would blame Robert for all the bad things he'd do as a kid, and so he himself kind of just unleashed all of Robert's bad powers. The doll stayed in the family for years even after Eugene's death, and it said he was the cause of things like car accidents, financial bankruptcy, and broken bones within the family, which I think is slightly reaching, to be honest. You can't blame bankruptcy on a doll. That's a you problem. Filling at number 3 slot is the China doll. Back in 2017, there was a huge bidding war going on eBay over a haunted China doll. Debbie Merrick, the initial owner of the doll, shared on ITV that the doll would set off her fire alarm, take off her own necklace, and would scratch her partner any chance she got. Lee Steer managed to win her with his bid of £866, and the doll was soon shipped to him. However, after 2 days of being in the same house with her, Lee's father woke up with scratches all over his arms, very similar to those found on Debbie's partner. The scratches seemed to be the same size as the doll's hands, despite the fact they hadn't even unboxed her yet. Lee said ever since they brought her into the house, he's been hearing strange noises and things keep breaking despite no one actually being near the object in question. Now at number 2 is the hoax. This one's from Redditor KK Holiday 07, who said their college roommate's sister decided to buy a haunted doll off the internet, and she was fully aware that it could have completely been a hoax, and she herself was a major skeptic when it came to things like this. So when reality set in and it was so much different than she expected, she was shook. As soon as she got the doll, things at her house just went haywire. She started having intense violent nightmares every single night. Her dog started throwing up blood, despite the vet saying he was completely fine. The girl started hearing voices that would tell her to harm herself, and she actually ended up being admitted into a mental institution and is still very much there 8 years later. And finally, at number 1 is the collection. Now usually these stories involve one doll, but this one involves 8. Now, the whole gang linked up for this one. Now the couple who owned the doll said they were super interested in paranormal phenomena and decided to buy them because they were said to be possessed. Cameron, Ashley, Lily, Crystal, Charlotte, True, Monica, and Isaac have been seen moving around on camera. Their presence in the house also invoked the apparition of a boy at the bottom of their staircase. Who is this boy? No one knows. But did the couple wake up unable to physically open their eyes the next day? Yes. The couple both reported feeling this intense weight on their eyes, almost like their bodies and minds were awake, but they physically had no control over their movement or eyeballs, kind of like they were in a coma. When they finally found the strength to move, they looked over the footage and saw what really happened. The ghostly boy, the doll's moving. And that is it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you're finding some entertainment during your self-quarantine. Do stay quarantined, you guys. Stay safe, stay clean. As always, I've been your host, Eamon Hassan, and I'll see you next time. Bye. I'm going for, just casual, comfy vibes today. It's a global pandemic, guys. We don't have time for fashion. I was gonna wear jeans today and I was like, why? No one is on the street. There's no reason. Nope. Ashley from generation to generation. I've been talking for way too long and I picked at least 3 wedgies.